Here we are going to discuss inclusive curriculum. It means that we are just not focusing on the academic rigor or the degree standards, but we need to make sure that none of this is compromised while we are trying to create inclusive classrooms. It's like when you start wearing spectacles, it's not something that takes away from the rigor. It helps you read better, learn better. And therefore, by creating these inclusive systems, you will see how advanced the entire journey of a student with disability gets. We'll be focusing on faculty and the academics office and how they're going to impact students with SLD, providing flexible options to complete the degree to get the necessary credits by giving them additional semesters or additional subjects works really better. Exempting these students from taking up mandatory foreign language based subjects does really well. You can provide them other options. They more than often work and perform really well in the labs. Providing alternative course options is something that can be used in places of these additional foreign language subjects that are there. You need to understand that creating individualized education programs, learning plan for them helps you understand what is the exact support that is required for these students. If they're not taking up a certain course or a certain subject, this individual approach or a personalized approach will help them perform better. It could be through a mentor, through a buddy system, through creating the task plan, the deadlines for them. It will help them perform better. Inclusive pedagogy and evaluation. We know pedagogy and evaluation has to go hand in hand. The way you're facilitating knowledge should also be the way in which you assess them for the knowledge imparted. Adaptive inclusive strategy works very well, provides syllabus and study material in multiple formats. So they are able to use this in the most accessible manner, in the manner that suits them the best. Breaking down complex tasks and subject concepts work really well with them. There are a lot of options that are available, whether it be software or other solutions that can be used to do this. Providing notes, providing recorded lectures works really well. Hands-on training is something they work very well. So anything which is a group discussion and activity based task, you need to know that what they're absorbing out of it will be higher. Providing regular feedbacks is very necessary. Make sure that your student suddenly does not fail at the end of a semester stretch, but you understand and work with them by giving them regular feedback so that they can incorporate that to perform better. Clearly establishing deadlines. Through the mentor or the buddy system, you can help them plan and manage their time better and connect them with the tutors or the librarians or the extra study material they need. Helps them thrive. We are also going to talk about implementing reasonable accommodation, and faculty members are encouraged to discuss the needs and accommodation of these students. Allowing for the following accommodations in the classroom. Use of AT works wonder with all our students, especially the one with disability. Recorded lectures, digitally accessible materials, note taking is something which is very supportive. During in-class assessments or exams, ensure flexible deadlines, accessible question papers, fonts that are easy to read, provide them with the reasonable accommodation of a scribe, preferential seating, any particular assistive feature that they can use. We have talked a lot about how AT plays a wonderful role in able to customize the support as per the need of a student. So you should firstly have the schemes and the scholarships in place to get these resources to your classroom. Provide students with the necessary assistance. It could be certain AT features, accessible formats. Train your users, which are your students, to be able to use the right assistive technology. A lot of our students may not have used assistive technology or tools or devices or softwares before, but now that you know that it can help them, suits well with their gap when it comes to the accommodation. Provide them, help them understand, help them train and learn better about using them. So for this, you can conduct a lot of workshops around training, and it could be for your teachers, for faculty members, for lab assistants. Internally, you need to help them get the resources to make sure these are present in your classrooms. Which gets us to the question, we have spoken so much about AT. What exactly is AT? We still see when we go to higher education institute that there's a lot of stigma which revolves around AT. We still think that if we get assistive technology to classroom, it will take away from the rigor. It will break the ethical boundaries of learning. We need to understand that assistive technology is seamless. It could be any device, software, equipment that will help an individual learn, communicate, and function better. It can be not very complex. It doesn't have to be very expensive. You need to understand that if you know the struggle, you can understand which tool will help you learn, process information, communicate better. AT for educators to teach better will involve having accessible content formats, integrating multimedia content and classroom instructions together. So when you have a lecture mode, if you get these two put together, it will help you perform better. Providing multimedia, tech-enabled learning resources beyond just textbooks will help your students know what are the existing technologies, softwares, apps, tools that can help them learn better. Sign language translation, speech to text, text to speech is something that has worked wonder with students with disability. Audio description for in-classroom videos help them understand and be at the same pace. Recorded classes also help them go back and learn if they are not able to do it and process the same thing in the same manner as their peers in the classroom. Allowing typed assignments instead of written will take away from the fatigue of these students when it comes to their cognition. Allowing speech to text for assessments, giving them bigger fonts when it comes to their question papers, and also helping them use mind mapping softwares will help them break these things in a good manner. Research. This is something that is one of the strands that our students transition out into, if not employment. And research is also a very strong pillar of a higher education institute. We need to understand that we have to advocate for centers working on neurodiversity centric research, and it should include neurodiverse scholars. There should be representation of the strengths and the struggles if the research is happening on neurodiversity. Providing students the exposure and the needed mentorship, opportunities where they can do better. They might take it up full time instead of transitioning into an employment channel after their semesters are completed. Accelerating research both for knowledge creation and for informing interventions. Working on assistive technology has done really well. It could be a lot of apps, AT tools, scheduling, management, deadlines. These students, because they face a challenge, they will be more than keen to develop solutions. You have to lobby with organization, get funds, help them understand how these students work better when it comes to research, and how there needs to be a lot of research done to be able to solve for the cognition and the executive functioning lag with students with specific learning disabilities. Remember that when your academics and pedagogy are made inclusive, it will not just benefit students with specific learning disability, but instead you will become a universally inclusive institute.